this could be useful. Right, so just to reiterate, Luke, we're just looking at the possessive no for a moment, because we're working on an exercise.
No.
Yeah. And what I've tried, the way I've tried to explain this is that we should think about set theory. So, for example, this is Spanish flu, just here. This is influenza as a group, and then that's in a group of diseases. And this disease is all part of the human condition as a larger set. And then within the human condition, there's things like environmental influences, there's injuries, there's genetic factors. So it's just to illustrate that one thing.
Bad friends. Where are bad friends?
Bad friends. That's one of the larger parts, actually. That should be the whole of this section down here.
Okay.
BFF. Bad friends forever. Yeah. Yeah. So this is how do we explain the setting of Spanish flu? Well, in Japanese, we need to start from the largest thing and work down to the smallest thing. So this is human condition, not disease, not influenza, not Spanish flu. Okay, so far?
Mm-hmm.
Another way to kind of imagine this is, give me a second. So you see this? Let me just stop sharing a second. This is a strap on a camera bag, and this camera bag belongs to me, and I'm holding this for the British Kendo Association. So how do I describe this strap? Giving it all the details.
BKF no camera no strap.
Sorry, BKA, BKA, not Andy, no camera bag, not strap. So these, you know, if you just saw this by itself without any, just it floating in space, it doesn't have any description. But you've got to, if you think about all the ways that this is a subset of everything else that's around it, this is how, that's how you describe things anyway. This is the camera phone for my company. So this is like me saying, this is Sim Energy's employees' camera phone. Which is how we say it in Japanese as well. This apostrophe S is no. The apostrophe S in English. This is my company's employees' camera phone. Why am I saying camera phone? Nobody says that anymore. Smartphone, phone, mobile. Yeah. Sorry, can you guys hear me okay when I normally have the microphone down here?
It's amazing. Yeah. From the UK, I can hear you.
Normally, I've got such a big mouth, you can hear me without any. So, with that in mind, Konstantina, let's go back to this. Let's now create a new subset. So,
Luke is breaking down the house, I'm pretty sure. Wait until Hilda's coming home.
We've got three things, haven't we? We've got Chiburi, and we've got Kakudo, and somewhere in here, which is not part of the set, it's not part of the connected possessive, we've got Tadashi. Question is, where do we goes? Yeah, where does it go? So obviously we know that Kakudo is in the center here, isn't it? And then here is Chiburi. Now, and then this will be something like Mai.
To specify in which kata we are referring.
Yeah, so yeah, where does this Tadashi go? What is it actually fixing itself to? Are you saying what is the angle of the Chiburi of correct Mai? Or are you saying what's the angle of correct Chiburi when you do Mai? Or are you saying what's the correct angle of Chiburi when you do Mai? Which one is it?
It depends how you want to restructure the sentence.
Right.
Where you want to focus. It depends when you. I don't know.
Right. So this is a good point, because within Chiburi there are other factors other than kakudo. There is things like speed, height, I don't know.
Point. Kisaki pointing outward or not?
Oh yeah. So kisaki, let's call it kisaki position.
Direction.
Or direction, yeah. So there's other things as well. So if you want to put tadashi and fix it to Chiburi as a whole, then you're saying for overall correct Chiburi, what's the angle? It's not really focusing the question at the right place, is it?
Mm.
It's not, and this isn't a kind of Japanese, this isn't a problem for Japanese language or English language or any other language. It's a problem for how do you create the right concept in order to write the question, in order to make the question correct, in order to make the question sound like you want it to say, to give it the right context. And I think what the actual question is, what is the correct angle for Ochiburi for Mai? Wouldn't you agree? You want to focus in on the angle. That's the bit
Of
that you want.
Specific non-Chiburi, yes.
Yeah. So then if you're going to make this into the Japanese, then this needs to be Chiburi no. And then here we're going to have kakudo. But the tadashi part needs to be sitting around kakudo, wouldn't you think?
Mm. Mm. Shouldn't we use the ga? Because if I remember correctly, one of the videos of Miku Sensei, that they say from all these, I prefer that, and she used the ga and the wa particle.
Mm. Yeah.
But I'm still not very comfortable to use it. I don't know if this can help the situation, or it's easier to just say no, until we eliminate to arrive at the end of the sentence. So, make the point.
I remember that lesson of Miku Sensei, and I think what she was trying to get across was that you either want to put the attention on the thing which is marked by the particle, or you want to put it on the criteria that you're asking about the object that's been marked. So, for example, hang on a second. Let's see if I can get this right. Sorry, it's the other way around. It's the other way around. You want to put focus on the one thing that you're talking about. Then this is ga. For example, I like cheese. Okay. This would be cheese ga suki desu. Cheese ga, because I want to specifically aim the focus on is cheese that I like. Now, if you just make one sentence, which was cheese wa suki desu, this does one of two things. It either says, I like cheese in comparison with other things. Cheese is the thing that I like, comparing it to, for example,
most of all.
Yeah, car accidents, the Suez crisis, etc. Cheese is the one that I like. But if you say it without making those comparisons with other things, what it says is, as for cheese, the thing that I feel about it is I like it. So it's taken the focus off of cheese and putting it onto the fact that you like it. Mm-hmm. That's what you do with cheese. You like cheese. Now, in this case, what we want to say is, I'm asking questions about what is correct. I now want to ask a question about Chiburi angle. So in this case, we really need to put the focus onto Chiburi angle. So we should, onto the, I beg your pardon. We want to put the question is focused on the correctness of Chiburi angle. So I want to say, Chiburi angle wa nan desu ka? I also sometimes have difficulty explaining all of the kind of the subtle rules about when to use wa, when to use ga. Sometimes you have to just say it out loud and think, this sounds about right. this is how most people would say this, and then reverse engineer the rationale for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now with the Chiburi,
I'll
if
be
you
right,
want to,
sorry, I'll be right back to knock on the door. Sorry. Sorry, something been delivered. Yeah, sorry, go ahead, Constantine.
no, now for the example for the Chiburi, to put the tadashi at the beginning of the sentence, because before we did Chiburi no kakudo wa nan desu ka, to say very vaguely what is the correct
what is the angle of Chiburi?
with the angle of Chiburi, yes.
Yeah.
But to put even the tadashi, the correct angle inside,
Yeah.
I need to put it in the beginning, the tadashi.
Do you? Why is that?
No, it's a question.
Oh no, you don't have to. You can put tadashi against the thing that you want to ask is being correct.
So Chiburi no tadashi kakudo.
Chiburi no tadashi kakudo. Yeah.
Chiburi no tadashi kakudo.
If you put it in the beginning, that would be like the correct Chiburi and not the correct angle, right?
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Now this, when that next possessive along is close, it doesn't make too much difference, does it? If you said what's the correct Chiburi angle, okay, this doesn't make it too bad. But if you think about this set theory, the set theory and possessives, to give the full description of that Chiburi, ready? It's Zen Nihon Kendo Renmei Seitei Iai Kata no Ipponme no Chiburi no Ipponme no Mai no Chiburi no Kakudo. So if I put tadashi right at the beginning, it says correct Zenken Ren's Seitei Iai number 1 Mai Chiburi. It makes the tadashi almost irrelevant the further you move it away from that thing that you want to refer to.
Yeah, because it's like you say, overall, the correct thing, what it is not specific, the correct way of Chiburi, of the Nukitsuki or the Kiryoshi.
Yeah, yeah.
That's okay.
You want the adjective to be wrapped around the thing that you actually want to be correct, the thing that you're actually asking about.
Okay, good. Nice. Because I always had the question, if I wanted to say something to Richie Sensei, it was like the kakudo, kore wa okay desu?
I mean, this isn't, if you're stuck, this is a fine way to ask something. Kore wa okay desu ka? Yeah, this will be communicated. This is fine. Yeah.
It can be anything.
And the answer would be
no. And they grab my hand.
Or Luke, maybe not even without that subtle nod, just a
Richie gets angry, takes the bouquet and hits me on the head. Oh my God. True story. No, Pam, no.
Baka.
Actually, I got quite a lot of these. So.
Okay, let's do so. Luke, let's give you one to do now. So think of something you wanted to say to Furuichi Sensei, and we'll have a practice at creating it.
When is it okay for me to come to Japan?
Okay, sure. Why not? Okay, so this is actually a slightly more complex question sentence structure than we've actually done at the ASAHI class, but let's have a go at doing it. Okay, so have a first go, Luke.
Sensei, itsu wa Also, what was my question? When is it okay for me to come to Japan? Itsu Nihon ni should I go or come?
Go.
Go. Ikku hou ga ii desu ka?
Okay, this is actually pretty good. This would be okay. This
You don't
is
have
saying
to put the moraimasu of the.
no. This is all right actually, and this would probably be understood. The nuance is a little bit different. What you've actually said is when would it be best to go to Japan? Which is okay. This would be understood. It's kind of a slightly indirect way of asking when can I come to Japan, which is what you're actually asking, isn't it? When is it best for you that I come to Japan? That's what you actually want to say, isn't it? So this would be understood. What else could you do to make it a little bit more like asking permission?
Nihon ni kita toki ni itsu wa.
No, you're going down the wrong rabbit hole now. So
Is it the Hoshides?
no.
No.
No, but why not? Why not? Why can't you use Hoshides in this?
I know.
What's the simple rule about Hoshi and Tai? Ikitai, yaritai, skuritai.
Oh my God.
Who, when you say Hoshi desu ka or ikitai, yaritai, who are you generally referring to when you use these terms in a sentence?
Friendly level.
Luke, one more time.
Yourself.
Grammatically, anybody, you can use it to refer to anybody, but in application, you shouldn't really use ikitai desu ka, hoshi desu ka, to ask a question of somebody else. This is slightly imposing yourself on somebody else, like you're trying to dive into their inner thoughts and feelings. Hoshi desu ka wouldn't really work. Okay, let's have a look. Let's put the screen up and do some. So let's start with the one that Luke said. So, itsu Nihon ni iku hou ga ii desu ka? And this, just to be clear, this can be, this is usually expressed in the past tense though. Itsu Nihon ni itta hou ga ii desu ka? And so both of these mean when would it be best, best to go to Japan. Now, the reason why I say this is acceptable but not optimal is that Furuichi Sensei's response to this might be, oh, you should come when it's cherry blossom season because Japan's pretty then. Not my schedule says that you should come in this month. That's when I can accept you. Yeah. So we want to ask, when can I come to Japan? So one way to do this is not that different from the sentence you first made. Itsu Nihon ni itte ii desu ka? When may I come to Japan? Now you probably recognize this more. Base, yeah, of using mo in there. You understand this more when we use mo, which is itsu Nihon ni itte mo ii desu ka? Now, the reason why I discarded it in the first example is that usually if you want to say, is it okay to eat this donut? Then this would be kono donut. What am I writing? Why am I translating this? Go on, guys, translate. Is it okay to eat this donut?
Kono donuts o tabete
Moi desu ka?
Moi desu ka?
Right, okay. So usually when it's just, is it okay if I do this, then putting mo in here is quite usual. This makes it into, is it, what it actually turns into is it okay?
Less direct.
Yeah, well, it actually says, is it okay if I eat, excuse me, if I eat this donut, and it's inferred or not by putting mo in there. And it's just kind of a slightly, as you said, a slightly more indirect way of saying it, makes it a little bit softer. But if you're going to start this itte desu ka sort of thing, it should be ittes, not itto. If you've got itsu at the beginning, when is it okay? It's usual to not put mo in there because it sounds funny. When is it okay if I go to Japan or not? Huh? That's not what I wanted to ask. I don't care when it's not okay to go to Japan. I want to know when it is okay to go to Japan. So usually you don't put mo in here. Itsu Nihon ni itte ii desu ka? Okay, so far? Okay, now let's, this is pretty good. Okay, Joseph. Now, grammatically, this is probably the basic sentence we want to use. Let's now expand our vocabulary or exercise our vocabulary to make this right for asking your sensei.
This is EQ level.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. How do we now improve this sentence with some decorations, some flowers, and maybe a unicorn jumping over the top of it with a rainbow coming out its arse?
When can I come to your dojo to practice together?
Right. Okay, good. Let's put some details in it. It's okay. So go ahead. I don't know why I keep translating it. It's
Sensei no dojo. Dojo ni.
Let's do it step by step, guys. Let's make this the first one. Itsumo itte ii desu ka?
Ii desu ka?
Good. Okay, that's a good step.
So we can say
Deshi de.
One more time.
Deshi, or how do you say gakusei? Do you say for students? He doesn't.
Deshi.
Deshi.
desh.
How do you want to put that in here?
Deshi to.
Oh, with your students.
Yeah.
Ah, okay. So go ahead.
That was Konstantinos, to train with your or together or
Together, I would say.
together.
Sorry, with whose students?
Furuishi sensei students, I suppose.
I mean, if you put this in here, it's fine, but it sounds like you don't want to practice with him. You want to practice with the students. His students are not important. He's important.
So let's say all together, Ishoni.
Okay,
Come and practice. So let's put this come and practice together.
Okay, so remember you can't use, sorry, just before we go on with this a second, let's just try and get another concept in our mind. Going and coming in Japanese. In English, they're interchangeable. In Japanese, they're not. So if you're talking about yourself to Furuichi sensei, are you coming to Japan or are you going to Japan?
We are going to Japan.
You're going to Japan. So you have to use not kuru, but
Iku.
right. When you are phoning Furuichi sensei and he's coming to Europe, is he going to Europe or coming to Europe?
Coming to, because
coming
from
to
your
Europe.
perspective.
Right, exactly. Yes. Yeah. Okay, just making sure that was clear. There's going to be a little bit of background noise, guys, because the builders have started to, I don't know, I think they're torturing monkeys upstairs or something. Right,
Indigenous monkeys.
Yes, yeah. Okay, so we're going to put keiko in here, won't we? So how are we going to do this?
Sensei no dojo. I would suggest to put de because we're gonna go do something in that place. I'm not sure. I'm just playing it smart.
So we're going to have something else in there, aren't we? And then there's going to be something, and then there's going to be a ii desu ka at the end, right? So what are we going to fill here?
ikimasu. Shi ni ikimasu. Ii desu ka?
Nani o,
No.
nani o shini?
Keiko. Keiko o.
Keiko o shi ni.
Ni itte ii desu ka?
Okay, this is good. This is good.
Ah.
Keiko shi ni ite ii desu ka? Okay, so here's a question. This is sometimes important, sometimes not. I would guess. Is this de or ni?
I would say de, because you're going to have an action.
So you're referring there to keiko or shi, right? Keiko or suru.
Yeah.
But there's also an it there here, iku. So why can't we have ni instead of there? To be honest, it doesn't matter too much. It doesn't matter too much. Normally in sentences like, should we go to the Pizza Hut and eat pizza until we explode? In that case, you could use ni or de. But I would say that in this sentence, the thing that you're asking really
if you can come.
Yeah, go.
It's more like
Go.
Yeah. So I think this is making
Me.
Yeah. This stuff in the middle, keiko or shini, is a kind of justification. But the thing you're asking permission about is when can we go? For example, a few steps back, we just said, when can we go to your dojo? Sorry, here, isn't it? When can we go to your dojo? So this shouldn't really change significantly when we add more details, like for the purpose of training.
You might have a beer as well.
In the dojo?
Well,
not
in Japan.
not to go per se for training. You mean just to go and visit?
Yeah. Okay, so far, guys?
Yeah.
Okay, so now let's add a bit more decoration. Let's start with, what can we put in here? What can we replace in here to make it more polite?
The shoka.
The shoka, very good, nice. Oops. The shoka, really good. I didn't even see that myself, to be honest. That was good. Okay, let me help you. E, meaning good, of course. Let's remember, what's the other way of saying E? There's another way of saying yoi.
Yoi.
Good. Yoi. If you're asking about if it's good for somebody else, there is a keigo for it, which is yoroshi. Yoroshi. This is for
Don't be
someone.
pleased.
Sorry?
It's from Yoroshiku?
Yeah, it's from Yoroshiku. It's from Yoroshiku. Yeah. Someone else's perspective. If you're talking about your own perspective, how it is for you, this is expressed as kekko. Kekko.
I feel that we have done it before this.
Yeah, if you want to say no, thank you, a polite way of saying this is to say kekko desu. Kekko desu. Don't ask somebody else though. Kekko desu ka? Because that's putting them in a lower position. Kekko is a sonkeigo. It puts you at a lower position. Actually, I've written it as double K. Just make sure, because I sometimes mess up my doubles.
Yeah, they say by implication, no thank you. Sufficient, fine.
Yeah. Is it double K?
Double K, yes.
Yeah, and then OU, isn't it? Yeah. Okay, cool.
It's a very complicated kanji.
Yeah. Okay, should we plug this in then? So let me just ask you, are we going to use yoroshi or kekko?
Kekko, because you're asking it for yourself.
Are you?
No, if it keko is for yourself, you need to ask the permission from the sensei if it's okay for
Right.
him.
Okay.
For you to come.
Exactly. Whew, that was dodging a bullet, wasn't it?
So we need to arrange the trip with me so I can save his ass.
I take it that you're going to take Constantina with you anyway, Luke.
In my luggage,
Yeah.
You should travel together, I suppose.
Yeah. Actually, luggage is a bit cruel. You could put her into one of those cat cages.
And I'm gonna be like this.
a bench.
Okay, how are we doing now? Itsu sensei no doji ni keiko shi ni itte yorashii deshou ka? This is pretty nice. I'd say there's probably one more thing that we could do to this to make it a little bit less intrusive.
Less intrusive than that.
This is it.
Joseph, can you think of something in this sentence that you'd normally say in Japan, especially when going into a dojo, which is a kind of way of expressing the going into a dojo? So rather than saying keiko shi ni iku, is there something else you can use instead?
I would probably say visit, but
Okay, what would you use in that case?
yeah, if I would remember. What was specifically?
It's something mon. I can't remember either actually, but there's actually something even not visit, because this could sound like you're going to go and visit him for a day and then leave. Maybe something else. What do you say, guys? I think we did talk about this before. What should you say when you walk into somebody else's dojo anyway?
Can I come and watch?
In Japanese, though. Joseph?
Shitsureshimasu.
Sorry, one more time.
Shitsureshimasu.
Shitsureshimasu, okay.
It's usually whenever, whatever.
Yeah. It's saying, may I be so rude as to
Intrude.
Sorry?
To intrude.
Yes. Okay. So you just said to intrude. This is exactly the sentence that we want to extract and put in the sentence, which is, do you remember, Joseph?
No.
Ojama shimasu.
Ah, yeah. I do remember. Yeah.
So we can use it. The shitsureshimasu. We use it, let's say, starting the conversation, like shitsureshimasu, and then the rest of the sentence, like, sorry to be rude, but when is it be fine to come to your dojo? Something like that.
Yeah, so you shouldn't really join shitsureshimasu with other parts of a sentence. It's an it's a exclamation, like saying I'm sorry. But if you put it with, let me just write it into it to give you an example. Let's say, sorry to be rude, but could you turn down the music, please? Now, of course, you can just say, you could start the sentence off with sumimasen ga, but I don't. This is not. This is a standard level. I want this to be polite. So, if you say shitsure, so I'm going to put this in first. Shitsure shimasu ga. Now, one of you now has to say, could you turn the music down, please?
Ongaku o turn down. Let's make smaller.
Good. Yeah.
Chisaku.
Chisaku.
Ongaku chisaku ni. No.
This is already an adverb. You don't need me.
Chisaku shite.
Shite?
Kudasai.
Kudasai.
Right. Okay. Good.
Could that be shizuka shite also?
you'd be understood, but it's usually used shizuka ni shite for people rather than objects. So this should really be ongaku no oto, the sound of the music. Ongaku no oto o shisaku shite kudasai. Now, if you said this as a foreigner, you'd be understood, but what it actually says is, I am going to be rude, but could you please turn down the music? And what the response would be is, well, don't be rude then. If you know you're going to do it, then don't be. So what you should say is chitsure desu ga. It is a bit rude of me, but chitsure desu ga, and then the rest of the sentence, etc., etc. If you say shitsure shimasu, then this sits by itself.
Yeah, it's future.
Yeah.
Or non-completed.
Yeah. So this can also, if you have just done something, like if you
put down the music and say shitsure.
yeah, or no, if you actually fix something to an error that's been done in the past, you can put this into the past. Shitsure shimashita. Yeah, it's like saying, I'm sorry, I just trod on your toes. I'm sorry, I just invaded your country.
Hey, don't say that. Too real, too real.
Especially not today, because for the Greeks is a big nation holiday with for the Second World War starting.
Is it VG Day?
The one that before invading the country, they ask the permission, say either you surrender with no war or we go to war, and we say no, we're not going to surrender, and we got fucked.
And then came Captain Corelli's mandolin.
Yeah, exactly. That's the most inaccurate movie ever.
Was that Alexander the Great?
Yeah.
In the Second World War, definitely.
Yeah, exactly. Fighting the Ottomans.
Okay, so let's go back to ojama shimasu, which is our key word. We now need to somehow squeeze it into this sentence. Here's our sentence.
Can I try?
Yeah, of course.
いつ先生の土壌にお邪魔してよろしいですかでしょうか
Good.
お邪魔してよろしいでしょうか
Ojama shite yoroshiii deshou ka. This is good. Yeah.
Can I
very
be
good.
picky?
Go ahead.
You need a U. You need a U at the end of the show.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Deshou ka. Yeah. And this should also be. Yeah. Here, ni is fine because it's kind of implying that you're going to go in and make be an obstruction. This is a really good way of saying this now. I couldn't think of a better way of saying this. Okay. I'm now gonna let's now stay on this same thread, but we're going to ask this in a different way, which is we're going to make it longer, more indirect, a little bit more conversational, and it means that you don't have to worry about keigo or sonkeigo, which is this. We would like to come. When let's try and think. When would it be suitable for you, for us to come and train in Japan? Right, have a think about that. I want to go and make a cup of coffee. I'll be right back.
By the way, that was my fault. I started this thread.
Which thread?
this. I ask her, how do we say this in sensei? How do we say that for with the sensei? And we started this,
It's good practice.
which is actually very useful.
Don't be rude anyway. Let's try to make it a little bit less.
Just too many words. Sì, lo so, ho visto. Mi ha mandato un messaggio.
Bambino, che cosa?
Sì.
Better my hearing.
Remember, you're being recorded, guys. I hope you're not saying anything bad about me. I'll find out.
No, I haven't even.
You're not gonna rewatch it anyway.
That's just true. I never have.
We wouldn't dare. It doesn't even, it wouldn't even cross our minds.
Yeah, that's definitely not our personality.
Yeah.
Of course not. Of course not. Okay, how are we doing?
I haven't even. No.
I would go from the second half.
Me too.
No, I'm serious. Like the second half of the sentence.
Sure, go ahead.
日本へ行って練習していついいですか? Wait. And then it's not so okay. いつはいいですか? And it's not so super polite.
Yeah, this is okay. This is a fairly basic structure, though, isn't it? This is good. Okay.
Is it itsuga or itsuwa?
Oh, sorry, it should be ga. Actually. Okay, this is all right. Let's now add some packing. So my first complaint would be that this is saying at the moment, when is it okay for us to go and train in Japan? And to this, Furuichi Sensei could respond and say, anytime you like. It's not my dojo you're coming to. This is just Japan. Yeah. So this isn't about a detail of saying Sensei no dojo ni itte. It's not this. What this is inferring here, when would it be suitable for us to come and train in Japan, is when would it be suitable for you to allow us to come and train in Japan? This is basically what this sentence means. And you guys have learned all the grammar for this already, because I'm such a smart planner of Japanese lessons.
What is allow? Because this would be moral.
Allow? How do you make allow in Japanese?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
With the moral.
One more time?
No, moral is receiving. Like
yeah, moral is just receiving.
Agema?
Agimas is giving, can't be to you. You're lower than insects at the moment.
True.
Yeah.
Is it tamoi? Tamoi is not really it.
It's not really it. Guys, in the past, we've done a sentence form, and everybody here has done it, which is, please allow me to blah, blah, blah. Remember?
Is it sasere?
Yay, which is called not that it's important to know what the English grammar is, but it's called
it's the causative.
Causative, hooray. Good for them. Exactly. Causative.
About their existence.
Good. Cause. See, we knew that this would be useful at some point. Okay, so this is the sentence I want. This one just here. Look, we've got a basic structure here already, guys.
If we
We
just,
just
need
need
the
to
same
replace.
thing and we just say it's the ga sasete morai.
Lenshu
Lenshi
or
o
sasete something. Okay, let's leave that for a
Mora.
second. Well, morale, yeah, but then how are you going to put that with the rest of the sentence, though? That's the problem.
No.
This is the right kind of direction, but I don't want us to go down a road where we trap ourselves into a sentence, which you end up thinking, I've now got to reverse engineer this sentence completely to fix in sasete morale. We can do something else, maybe. Okay, I'm gonna express the sentence in English the way I think you need to say it in Japanese. We would like you to allow us to train when and so. When would it be suitable for you? Okay. Make it clear. I'll wait for Costa to finish writing.
Where is the noise coming from?
It's from
It's
Joseph.
me.
He now works in a coffee shop. That's his full-time
Yeah.
job.
Sorry.
It's all right. Just to be clear, this is context setting here. This is some context setting that's going to make the sentence softer by putting the context in place first, and then say, not actually saying, when can we come to your dojo? Just saying,
It's
when
with
would it be?
endes.
Yeah, exactly.
Endes.
Yeah, exactly. And then it's just saying, when is it suitable? Okay. This bit should be elementary. We've done this before.
Okay. So you can start. By the way,
Okay, let's do this. Tokoro there.
Tokoro there.
Tokoro there. Good.
That's a very cheeky way to start this.
Yeah, just like nudge yourself in. By the way.
Chiki is my middle name.
Yeah, no
Apart
one.
from coffee addict and the other one. Anyway.
Do you know what? Almost all of my progress with Japanese teachers has been started with the words Tokoro de.
There is hope for everyone.
Yeah, that's how I got my 7th now. Tokoro de.
Let's see. Oh, Jesus.
Isn't it the same like a verb?
Yeah, with you can use the des and the. No, it's good.
Yeah, it's good. Absolutely, there is going to be an indes in it, but something's got to happen before.
Oh my God. To put it in the te form, no?
At some part it is, yeah.
It's te and des. Oh, it's too many. My brain is chaotic right now.
Okay, let's.
Is it Renshi next? Renshi?
Well, okay, yeah. So Renshu or cake or something is going to be in there. Okay, good start.
Oh,
Rensuo.
Samurai.
One more time.
Go, Constantine.
Rensuo. Rensuo.
Okay, Renshu or.
Sasete des.
This is, you can't put pe and des then des. This is at the moment. This is saying, let us practice. Let us practice. Renshu or sasete. How would you say we would like you to let us practice.
Interesting.
You could say moraitai, but it sounds a
Moraitai.
bit-
No, this is good. In fact, I was going to start off with the least polite ways of doing it. Say
then moraitai.
Hoshides. Yeah, Hoshides. Hoshides. And then we can make this more polite by going to Moraitai des. Still with me, guys?
Yeah.
And then we can go one more step. Instead of saying Moraitai, itadak, not just itadaku, but itadak.
Itadakte.
No, we've already got te there. We want to say something Thai.
Itadakundes.
Itadakitai des. Itadakitai des. Des.
With collaboration, we can do something.
We can.
No.
So we do have to go all together to
All of you together.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's the solution.
Yeah. So guys, just let me just quickly illustrate something. Hoshides, moraitai des, itadakitai des are all the same meaning. They all mean the same thing. I want this to happen.
permission.
Yeah, or even I just want something. I just want something. Something ga hoshides, something ga moraitai des, something ga itadakitai des. It's just that the longer the verb, the longer the word, the more polite it is.
All right. And the endes.
So this ndes connects this context setting with the thing you're going to say next. Yeah, it's a bit like saying des kara, itadakitai des kara. It's because we want to come and train in Japan. Sorry, because we want you to allow us to train. But it's just a way of doing it a little bit less formally. We'd like to come and we'd like you to allow us to train in Japan. So blah 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 blah. Yeah.
So instead of saying all the keiko, dojo, all these part, we are.
Yes. Yeah. Okay, here we are then. So we've now got ikitakitain desu ga, putting ga in there just as a kind of comma. We now want to say, when is this suitable for your for your
For your highness.
for you, governor.
Oh, sama.
Osawa.
Osama, do this.
Itsuga
Go to the
yoroshii
floor.
desu. No? Itsuga yoroshii desu.
Itsuga yoroshii desu ka? This is good.
Yeah.
Yes. With this, we need something like. At the moment, this doesn't say anything about going to Japan. This just
Not
says
yet.
we would like you to let us train when is good. So, well, now here in Italy. So we need to have some indication about Sensei's dojo here.
Itsuga Nihon de.
Sorry, Joseph, one more time.
Itsuga Nihon de yoroshii desu.
When is good in Japan, but it's not saying for you to train in Japan. It's just saying we would like you to let us train. When is it good in Japan? It's like, what do you want me to phone you from Japan to say you can now train? Let's be precise about this. This in Japan stuff needs to be here.
Yeah, probably before the range.
Yeah. So let's do this. Let's do this really simply.
Nihon de.
Yeah.
Nihon ni.
I was thinking just one sensei no dojo de. Seems to be okay. Sensei no dojo de renshu o sasete itadakitai desu ka? Itsu ga yoroshii desu ka? This is really good so far.
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay, when they're going to, let me just wait for Costa to finish writing.
Okay.
Because I'm just going to mute you a second because I want to explain something. Okay. Guys, let me just say in the middle of this part of the lesson now. If you're making, does everybody cook here to some degree or another?
Water.
If you're, do you burn it? If you're learning to cook something a little bit complicated, the fact that you make a multi-tiered cake and you put some kind of support structure between them and you put icing around it is fairly irrelevant if your cake ends up as flat as a pancake and it tastes like shit. Now, in terms of making a big cake with lots of layers on it, you basically have to learn how to make one cake first, right? And the essence of making one good cake, if, for example, if you want to make a nice sponge, is there's some kind of process that needs to be learned to make good quality sponge, right? So a sponge which isn't flat, a sponge which puffs up nicely, tastes nice, and you don't undercook it so it's raw, you don't overcook it so that it's too hard and crispy. So the key to that is learning firstly how to mix eggs and flour and sugar together, right? And this is a kind of elementary thing, and then you just have to kind of keep repeating these fundamental techniques throughout until you have a multi-layered cake. This is the same. I don't want you to learn this entire sentence, the entire length of the sentence, and say that's what I've got to learn today. It's not it. All I want you to learn is the basic fundamental techniques within this to build up the sentence. The overall sentence itself doesn't require as much skill and learning as learning these elementary parts, like how to make the causative form, how to express the causative form to say, I want you to let us. This is the most important part. So it doesn't matter if you don't have to copy out every single version of this. It's going to be misleading, and you might think what I've got to learn is all these different sentences. No, I want you to learn the individual components within the sentence, which I could have just said at the beginning, really, without talking about cakes. But I like to talk about cakes. Yeah.
Cake is a good thing.
Yeah, cake is a good thing. Yeah. Right. 登場で練習をさせていただきたいんですが、いつがよろしいですか? This is fine at the moment. I now just want us to exercise our vocabulary slightly. And we're going to do a similar sentence. And I'm just going to add some vocabulary, which is to say, not when it is it good, but when is it convenient for sensei?
Benry.
Excuse me. So Benry you can use for facilities and equipment and that kind of thing. You can't really use it for situation. But you're on the right sort of track. Sensei no tsugo ga itsu ga ii desu ka? Sensei no tsugo. There's this word, tsugo. Tsugo. If you look it up in your dictionary.
Tsugo. Circumstances.
Yeah, exactly.
Ah. Condition. Convenient.
It's an adverb already. It's not
Adverb, yeah.
Yeah. So let's just put this into a simple sentence. When is convenient for you? This would be itsu ga tsugo ga ii desu ka? Just like this.
Tsugo ga ii desu ka?
okay.
Now this nearly fits in this space here, doesn't it?
Mm.
You just need to convert it slightly. Itsuga. Whose circumstances?
Sensei no.
Sensei no. Tsugo ga. And then yoroshi is the same as I. So this is fine, isn't it?
Hmm.
And then this is fine. This is super duper. これで先生の道場で練習をさせていきたいんですが、いつが先生の都合がよろしいでしょうかね。でしょうか。This is now as polite as I can imagine you could get it.
So at this stage, we might get permission.
You're at the moment you're at 3% possibility of yes.
Hmm.
You need more
Knowing
to.
Furuichi, he wouldn't have problem. He's actually very happy to have people in his dojo.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Cool.
That was nice.
Okay, when you're in, have you finished writing now, guys? Yeah, I'm going to just clear this now. Right, you're in Japan, and you're in Japan for 3 weeks. And Furuichi Sensei is giving you a little bit of freedom to kind of come to the dojo when you want, do a bit of tourism. And then one of the dojo members tells you that there is a taikai at the weekend. And it's an individual open taikai. It's not dojo entry, just completely open taikai. Anybody can go to it. And you want to say to Furuichi Sensei, there is a taikai this weekend. Let's make it a little more complicated. Iaido taikai this weekend. If it's okay with you, would you let us go to it, please? It probably doesn't have to be this kind of long, but I want you to exercise your grammar and your vocabulary.
To go and participate. You mean not go and watch?
Go and participate. Yes, let's put it in as well.
Participate is.
My goodness.
Kiso, to compete, to or araso.
Sankasuru to participate.
Is araso participate as well, Luke? I didn't. Araso, I haven't heard this one before. To compete. Oh, okay. Araso. Yeah, you could probably use this as well. Let's use sankasuru for now.
Sankasuru. Tokorode.
Tokorode, good. Yeah, I like this. Tokorode.
Iaido no taikai. No. Weekend is Shumatsu.
Shumatsu. So this weekend would be
Kono Shumatsu.
You can say Kon Shumatsu.
Kon Shumatsu.
Shumatsu.
Iaido no taikai arimasu.
Arimasu.
Nga.
Okay. So if we've got arimasu and we want to make nde at the end, how do we do this?
Arunde.
Arunde. Arundeska. Are you bicycling now, Joseph, or just walking very quietly? Walking very quickly.
Just we're walking very quickly.
Oh,
Going
really?
to the
Wow.
bike shop.
Ah.
Se
Sensei.
Mhm. Sensei, something.
If it is okay with you, so we can need to use conditional.
Mm.
Ba conditional. That would be the question.
Let's think of a conditional then. Let's start with ba and see if this works. Does it pass the 3 condition check?
subject and are different.
Actually, they're the
Yes.
same. They're the same. If it's okay with you, would you let us?
Okay.
So they're the same.
So just one
All 3 need to be yes
all
before,
3.
before you can't use it.
It's an action verb. It's to participate. So second, yes.
But
And
what's
say
got, just a second, what part of the conditional statement needs to be an action verb? The condition or the outcome?
To allow us
That's the
is the
outcome.
condition.
No,
This is the
no, no.
outcome. To participate is the action.
No, no, no. The condition is it okay with you?
Is it anyway? Is it a request? So it's anyway 3.
No, it's not. I'd argue it's not 3.
Ah,
So it is a request in the outcome. Please allow us to participate. But the second condition is the condition itself, the condition, is it an action verb?
the allowing,
No.
the
Is
going,
Is it
the
okay with you?
participating.
No. Is it okay with you? If
This
it
the
is okay
condition
with you,
too.
this is the condition. Is it
Mm.
okay with you? Is that
So
an
it's
action verb?
no.
No.
So we can use it.
So we can use it. Yes.
Okay. So if we can use it,
Excuse me. It's
okay. It's too many. You need to put the E to the conditional.
Mm.
Yokereba. I don't remember what was the.
Yokereba would work. But we've already started using a different version of E.
The Yoroshi.
Yoroshi. How is this in the buff conditional?
Yoshikereba.
Yoroshikereba. Now the rest of it you've actually already kind of done in this lesson already.
Yes, it will be okay for you to allow us to participate. So, Sanka sasete ii desu ka? That's too plain. No,
That's you,
wait.
that's you giving him permission to give you permission.
Morale?
Okay, morale, but come on, we should be working at keigo level now. This should be our kind of standard
Itadaku.
mindset. Itadaku, but that in itself is also not exactly polite. But
Yeah, itadakimasu.
Irakimasu, and then
Masho.
ka.
Yeah,
Itadakimasu ka?
Yeah. ところで、今週末、いろいろの大会があるんですが、よろしければ参加させていただきますか? Why not?
That will never happen. If he would say, go and and participate. I would say I'd rather die. It would be the end of me. Participate in All Japan. Oh, jeez.
You wouldn't participate in All Japan Taiko, don't worry.
No, Taiko.
How can we make this even more polite? To soften this even more, this itadakimasu.
Oh, sensei.
No, just with this word here, itadakimasu.
Itadakimasen ka?
Very good. That's step one. Next step. You can make it even more polite. We can make this a little bit more indirect by turning this from the direct verb into the
But now.
potential verb. Itadakemasen ka?
Itadakimasen.
Can't you allow us, please, to go to participate in the taiko?
That's super uber duper.
Yeah.
It's too many allowing.
I mean, if I have this kind of programmed in as a phrase that I have just put, I can just put it into the sentence now. If I'm going to ask Ishido Sensei and I want to be polite, not just, can I have a glass of water, please? But to actually say, could I ask you to send this letter to the Zenkenren? I already have this as a program phrase, itadakimasen ka? Already there.
It's to go to phrase.
Exactly, yeah.
Good to go phrase. Nice.
His next challenge.
I'm jumping off the window. How do I do?
この方で、
この方で、
足さばきがどうやって、どうやってやった方がいいですか？
One more time. どうやって
どうやってやった方がいいですか？どうやって
やってやった
やってやった方がいい。Yes. やった方がいいです。
どうやってやった方がいいですか?
That's my initial reflex.
Oh, you'd be understood. You would be understood.
Is the yate is the yasashi?
Yasashi is friendly.
Ah, no.
But
What is the yate?
Yatte.
The bed.
This one. This one here.
Ah, do yate. Ah,
Do yate.
okay. The yatta.
Yatta. This is the same as
yori.
shita.
Ah.
No, this is shita. Shimashita.
So if I say yokereba is the hodo ides, the one the better. Isn't this?
That's, I mean, yeah. Joseph's partially put this in here actually.
Yokereba yoi hodoides. I'm just sprouting words now. The face of Luke.
Yeah. Okay, which bits can we be certain that we are sure are correct? First, let's remove the certainty from the uncertainty.
I do miss. Sorry, go for it.
この方で足さばき that's correct.
Right. Okay. Good.
が
Well, something. Let's see.
Ni.
Oh, let's think about it before we.
Probably or.
Probably is or. Actually, I would argue that even we don't even have the position of Ashi Sabaki correct yet. It might be correct, but I don't think that's certain.
It could be Ashi Sabaki no yarikata.
Ashisabaki no yarikata. Okay. Ashisabaki no yarikata.
And then I have to somehow put a better in there. I don't know. The better doesn't come to me now.
Ashisabaki no hoga. Don't laugh. I'm trying to remember stuff.
Yoni?
Yoni. Okay, this could be used somewhere in here.
In order to.
Yeah.
Yes, but the yoni is to make it's either negative or for somebody else, so you cannot use it.
You can use it for abilities, for
Okay.
potential form, for example.
So we need to put the verb in potential.
Possibly.
Mm. I swear I smell bacon. My brain is on fire.
So part of the problem is, guys, part of the problem is that there's more than two ways of expressing this question. And you have to decide which one you're going to do in order to get to the answer. But if you're trying to do all 3 or 4 ways at the same time, you're just going to end up with a jumble of words which don't make any sense. So we now need to decide which style of sentence we're going to put together. We can either create some context and then put the question at the end, or we can make it a little bit more complicated and embed the context and the question over the top of each other. You have to decide which one you're going to do.
Create context
first. Okay.
We can start with as for that, how to do it better. It's too complicated.
Normally you ask the thing at the end though, don't you? You normally pose the question or the request at the end of the sentence rather than making the question first, then talking about context. You can do it this way, but it's kind of clunky, and it primes the person to answer the question first before they've heard the context. So really want to create context first. So
I wouldn't start with Tokorode.
If you want to set context first, then let's just mark out what we're talking about. Kono kata no ashisabaki wa. Okay, there. We can now leave that by itself.
Concerning the ashisabaki.
Right, right.
Do.
That's a perfect start. There's a key phrase which we might choose to use here, and it would do the job for us actually. It doesn't add too much detail, but there's a key phrase which is, what should I do? You can use this in any context. Any context. This is doushitara ii desu ka? Doushitara ii desu ka?
Like what is best to do.
Exactly, yeah.
Do. Oh, how? But still, how do we need to make it the comparison? So we need to put the nohoga thingy.
Something else is needed, isn't it? So, for example, at the moment, if we just said "Doushitara ii desu ka," what does this sentence mean now?
How should I do it?
Right. Yeah.
But you wanted to make it better.
Right. So
motto.
Motto.
Before the e.
No. Doushitara motto ii desu ka? This doesn't make any sense. we need another little context marker to say, in order to do it better, what should I do?
Sta hoga. In order. Sta tameni.
You're wearing that funny hair hat again.
Yeah, I'm doing this or pulling my eyebrows. It's one of the two every time. It's true. That's why I have so thin eyebrows. When I was young, I was pulling them.
Sorry, don't tidy up your hair. Can you mess it up again, please?
What this?
And let it go. Right,
Spit.
Can you pile up a little bit more? Yeah, that's
Like this.
save this for later.
I'll do the same.
Yeah.
Yeah. Better.
In order to do it better.
It's okay if we use the tameni.
Okay.
This one's nice.
What are you thinking about, guys?
The structure for the tameni.
Okay.
Because I remember it, but I don't remember it. It needs to be in the simple. Jeez.
Yeah. Okay. So this is plain form verb. Sorry, plain form tameni, and then this can be blah blah blah. My question is, what is this? What is this section here? What's this? What is this plain form section before tameni? What needs to go in there? What's
The
the
noun or
concept?
the verb? The kata. The ashisabaki.
No, we've already got ashisabaki here already.
Then what's the question, Kale? I lost. How to do this as a better?
Before tameni, you want the desired outcome.
The better then.
Do it better.
Do it better.
You're muted at the moment, Luke, in case you're giving us some hints. A few minutes ago, Luke said motto. I would say that's probably a good place to start. More.
Yeah. Yaru.
Motto yaru.
Motto yaru tameni.
Okay, so this now means in order to do it more. So you're not a long way, not far away. Not that far away. But it's not that you want to do it more, you want to do it better.
So
how do you say better in Japanese?
Motto.
No. Hoga.
No, that means better than, or that means more than.
Better than the previous one.
Let me help you here, guys. Have a look at the screen.
Sutto.
Ice cream is better than torture. How do you say this?
Ice cream wa torture your I don't know.
Ice cream.
This is good. Yeah, go ahead, keep
Yes.
You
going.
Gomon. Yori.
know what torture is in Japanese?
Ides.
Gormon, yeah. Ides. Yeah.
Of course he knows it.
Yeah. I think it's umon. One second. Nori ides. Okay. So this, what does this read at the moment? What does this mean in English?
Ice cream is better than
Torture.
torture.
And what quality in this sentence here is describing this better?
Yori.
Yori i.
No, that's more. That's more. than-
Yes, but
What's saying better?
together with the e.
The wa.
E.
The E.
It's good. This is saying, compared to torture, ice cream is good, right?
Mm.
Yeah. So we're using E here. So if you want to say to do it better, somehow we need to.
Motto i.
Right. So motto E, but can we put an E adjective like this in front of a verb?
Shouldn't we do mod e no hoga?
No. Let's stay with it. This is at the moment. This is correct, but we can't simply put an E adjective in front of a verb and leave it like that. It's like saying,
Iku.
Ide.
not E there. What did you say, Luke?
Iku.
Iku, because what have you just done?
Made
Adverb.
Made an
Adverb.
adverb. But if you're making E into an adverb, it
Yoku.
becomes
Yoku.
yoku. Right. Motto yoku yaru tame ni dou shitara ii desu ka? You've solved it.
Yaru.
Yaru is suru. Yaru just means
Ah,
suru.
suru. I keep forgetting that. Ah, I need to write down a motto.
どうしたらいいですか?
The doshitara is the I don't know.
It's the key sentence.
What should I do? Dou shitara ii desu ka?
Doshitara is the full word. Doshitara.
Yeah, it's a tara conditional basically.
But that's what I want to use. It's a conditional, like
Yeah.
what I have to do it.
Yeah.
Popo, how am I gonna remember all
How do you remember it? Only by the elementary parts, not by the entire sentence. This is the only thing you have to learn is how to put elementary parts together. It's like computer coding. You don't need to start with the entire game or the entire program. You need to learn how to program first. You need to know what all the words mean. You don't start at 0 and the first step is Donkey Kong. You start at 0 and you make print Constantina is the best in the world. 20, go to 10.
And that's when you say back to basic.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
Where are we stuck? What's missing?
Oh, we're actually at the end, kind of. I just want the part when the hobbits take Frodo to the shore and see him off in the boat with Gandalf and
The elves.
Bilbo. Yeah, and that is this part here. Yoku is okay. It's all right. But how do I do this Ashi Sabaki better within this category? What does better mean? What better word? Is there a more appropriate word than better? What the fuck is better? Happier?
Best.
Well, no, not. I don't mean in terms of level of intensity. I just mean in the actual criteria itself. I mean, better for who? Better for the third world?
Better from the last one, from the preview.
Oh, yeah, but it's still asking the question. What do you mean by better? Do you mean
From what
easier?
I'm doing.
Easier, happier, getting more salary,
More
getting
correct.
more
To
correct.
pass my exams.
Okay, so we've had more correct.
Motto tadashi.
Okay, so we can use tadashi as incorrect. But I'm thinking that what you're actually asking is, how do I do it more skillfully? Isn't that what you're saying?
Jozu ni.
Jozu ni. yaru tame ni dou shitara ii desu ka?
Isn't it the Josuni we don't use it for our no, yeah, no, that's...
You shouldn't refer to yourself as Josu, but you're
mhm.
asking how does one do this more skillfully? So you can use it here.
Can we somehow not have the ni?
Moto jozu ni yaru tame ni dou shitara ii desu ka? No, I don't think it's necessary.
Okay.
I mean, you could replace jozu ni with umaku if that was sorry, umaku, completely spelled wrong. Umaku yaru tame ni. Umaku, umai, and jozu are just the same thing. They're just one's an e adjective, one's an adjective. Okay, last exercise, guys. Okay, over to you. What would you like to work on? Either a sentence, something, or if you can't think of anything, I can set you a problem. You decide.
Everything is a problem for me.
Couldn't agree more.
The world is a problem.
We need an infinite amount of time, though, Luke, to fix it.
Sounds like Buddha.
Is it I have a really stupid question. I don't remember because my brain right now is overworking. Have we ever expressed how to say, should I do this?
Should I do this?
Referring to anything, like should I do this kata this way? Should I go, the should? Or we paraphrase it with, can I go there? Is I allowed to go there?
Yeah. した方がいいですか?
した方がいいですか?
Or してもいいですか?
Mm.
But do we know the difference between the two of these? There's subtle differences.
Should I do, or is it okay if I do?
Right,
something
yes.
like that.
Yeah, exactly. Right. This is saying, is it best? And this is saying, is it permissible? So if you want to say, what should I do? What should I do? How'd you say this?
何をしてもいい? What should I say?
どうしたらいいですか?
To go, Carla. どうした?
Good. I walk outside without any shoes on.
外で歩いたら、靴 without ない something.
Yeah, pretty good. You could do it without this. Kutsu. I'll just do a really simple version of this just to keep it simple for a second. We'll come back to this in a sec. Kutsu ga nai de, so without shoes.
歩いた方がいいですか?
歩いた方がいいですね。
歩いた方がいいですか?
いいですか? Okay, so at the moment this says, is it best if I walk outside without shoes? Which isn't exactly. Hang on a second. Should I walk outside without shoes? It kind of sits somewhere between these two, doesn't it? This question here. It's sort of somewhere between can I or is it best? Yeah, I think it depends on the context really of this question, but this I think would work. 外で靴がないで歩いた方がいいですか? How do we say without wearing shoes?
Janai.
Hmm.
靴を脱ぎます。
Kutsu. It's without wearing, not with taking off.
Ah, that's the taking off.
Yeah. What's the verb to put shoes on?
Hairu.
One more time.
Hairu.
Not hairu, but it sounds a bit like hairu.
Haku.
Haku. Haku.
履いてない
Hakunakte.
No. We did do this lesson a couple of months ago, maybe. Hakazu.
I thought the hakazu is for the writing.
That's kakazu. Oh, writing. No.
Yeah,
this is
writing.
fine. Okay.
Not so in conversational.
Oh no, you can use it this way actually. Hakazu ni.
That's a lesson I haven't seen. I think.
No, it's in Stasokare.
Yeah,
Yes.
we'll get to it.
Hakazu. Hakazu.
So this will be soto de kutsu o hakazu ni aruita hou ga ii desu ka? Or I think what it's really asking is aruite mo ii desu ka? May I walk outside without shoes on?
Now you are working with shoes, aren't you? Or hakazu is the negation?
It means without wearing.
Without.
Without wearing. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, because the nakte was for the motion.
Something like that. Yeah, something like that, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, but if you're gonna, because I wouldn't even think about the zoo. Otherwise, we would have this hakanaide.
Yeah, this would be understood.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Let's take another one then. Hang on. There you go. Next problem.
Right.
Oh, that's a really good one. It's always so hard for us.
6段のために
6段のために
6段の試験
試験のために Yep.
のために何コリを
I don't think it would say nan kori, but maybe
Dono.
dono. Or nan no or dono. Yeah.
どのコリを
Kata. Koryu no kata.
コリ方方がいいですか
Do it.
知って
Careful.
を
Oh, sorry, Joseph.
いや、だをした方がいいです。
した方がいいですね。
した方がいいですか。
した方がいいです
Good. That's it. 6段の試験のためにどのコリューの方をした方がいいですか Okay, this is good. This is good.
And what would the sentence be if for my 7th time grading, which choreo should I do?
Yeah, I know the answer is probably Yaranai Hoga Ides.
Nothing is good.
Yeah.
This means
Better not to do it.
Better not to do.
Sorry.
You were supposed to have your exams, look, this year, next year, for your Nanadan. Look.
Sorry?
I said, is this the year or next year to have your Nanadan?
I could have taken it this year. Well, could have started taking it this year.
Look, you've only got 6 minutes. You can't start this year and finish next year.
Well, technically you could. 3 minutes before 12 o'clock.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, but that would be okay in Belgium, but you'd be 1 hour too early in the UK.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Already 7 hours too late in Japan.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
失礼しますか。
今日は
Don't say 失礼しますか。
今日は
ところで、
ところで、
ところで
今日は
道場に行けませんが、行けませんです。
You're translating literally directly the English into Japanese.
It's because I'm not feeling well. I cannot come to the dojo.
Right, good.
Yes, yes.
少し病気ですから。
Okay, that's good. 少し病気ですから。
道場に、行かない。
行かない。
行けない。
行けない。
行けません。
Thank you. 行けません。
行けません。
Not being a condition.
Or we can say 今日は少し病気です。Like
病
You could
気。
say, 今日はちょっと。
ちょっと
病気なんです。病気なんです。から道場に行けません。And then Furuichi sensei will hear that you're actually ill. And he'll say, 本当にじゃあ一緒に病院に行きましょう。He'll take you to the
Let's
hospital.
go to the hospital.
And what you actually want to say is,
腸
I'm
腸が
hungover.
悪い
Yeah,
Ah.
exactly. Yeah, exactly. Something like this. Yeah, not I'm sick, not I'm ill, not that I've got a disease,
I'm
but
not
I'm
good.
feeling. Yeah, yeah, or something like this. What you actually want to say is, I'm really badly hungover. I've been vomiting the whole night, but I'm pretty sure this is nothing to do with this. This is
Was it Taicho? Maybe? Taicho ga warui?
Well, there's a few ways of doing this, but let's go through these. 今日は let's make some examples. 体調が悪い. What's the other one?
What is that? What I didn't hear was the noise.
体調が悪い.
Means I'm not feeling well.
Yeah, my body condition is bad.
Warui is bad.
Yeah, yeah.
Taicho.
State of health, physical condition. There's another word which is like this. See if I can find it. Hang on. Not Taicho, but it sounds like Taicho. Choshi. Choshi ga warui. Choshi. My condition is, it's also the same as condition. Choshi ga warui.
Choose.
Taicho is actually the commanding officer.
Yeah, you say my commanding officer is bad.
Choose.
Choshi. Choshi.
Not
Taicho. And
Maybe it's
My
Taicho and not
body
Taicho.
length is bad.
sorry, Joseph, what's that?
Maybe it's Joe and not Cho. I'm not sure.
Sorry?
The Taicho, is it Taicho or Taicho?
No, it's Taicho. It's Taicho.
Taicho.
Means physical condition. Yeah. Taicho ga warui. Yeah. Good. Okay, this definitely be the last one now because I've got to go back to work. Okay, let me just leave this with you for a second. So what I'd like you to do is to write it down. Joseph, obviously you don't have to write it down, but Luke and Constantina just have a minute to try and solve this entirely. When you've got an answer, you can do the crazy chicken. Hang on a second. Costa's finished. Luke, if you finished, look back on it and see if you can make it better. See if there's any, or just make sure it's correct. And then just ask yourself, is there ways that you can improve? You could maybe fold the paper up and make a pretty crane out of it. Joseph, all this walking around you're doing and cycling, it's making me feel really tired.
I'm very sorry. If you give me 2 minutes, I can show you the hero square.
Okay. I don't mind. I feel like I'm getting exercise by just watching you.
It's yeah, I had to take a holiday to put the bike in the repair shop, and they didn't have the handle, so I had to go to another bike shop, buy the handle, bring it back to the other one.
Mendokusai ne.
Yeah, that's why.
Tutte bene, Constantina? Perché no un poco di confermazione e improvazione? Is that correct?
I don't understand that.
Now I know how you guys feel. Oh, it's not confirmazione, is it? Because that's not it's something else. Oh no, thinking of reservation. What's confirmation?
Confermazione.
Yeah, it's confirmazione. So I was speaking perfect Italian. You just
Yes.
didn't understand. What's wrong with
No,
you?
She just said she doesn't understand.
I
Yeah.
don't understand that. Okay, I know I did so many mistakes. I'm okay, but I'm okay. I'm not
Sure.
okay, but I'm okay. Yeah.
Let's see if this comes out the way I thought it would. Confirmation. Okay. Oh, ce ne dici di una piccola conferma?
Piccola conferma.
It's good, huh? Right. So what I'd like you to do now, guys, if you're sure that what you've got is the best one that you can do, is I want you to learn it, and then I want you to read it out without reading it, without reading the paper.
1000% sure this is so wrong in so many levels.
Okay, but I want you to just at least have a go at just memorizing it and having the processes in your head rather than on the piece of paper. Okay, Luke, would you like to go first?
Yeah, I'll have
Wow.
I'll try. Nichiyobi asa ni shiken, but the other word for examination is shinsa.
Yeah.
Shinsa ni issho ni ittara nanji dojo de aimashou ka?
Oh, okay, that's pretty good. Yeah, this would be completely
Yeah, almost the same as me.
Oh, okay, good. Constantine, go ahead.
Asa no nichiyobi wa
Nichiyobi no asa.
nichiyobi no asa.
Remember, the morning is a subset of Sunday.
Yeah, nichiyobi no asa. Moshi issho ni ittara nichiyobi no asa. I forgot. I'm not looking what I wrote. I'm writing the English one.
Sure.
Moshi issho ni shinsa ni ittara nanji dojo ni todoita hoga ii desu. And that's how I wrote.
But it's a question, so.
Ii desu ka?
Good.
Ii desu ka?
Right, Luke, can you say yours again? Without reading it on the paper.
Nichiyobi no asa ni shinsa ni ittara. I don't know if it was the same. Ittara
with you though, with you. It's with you, isn't it? So you haven't used the word with you at the moment.
I said together, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I want together, but you didn't mention it this time.
Anatta to?
No. I meant Ishoni. I didn't hear
it. Ishoni shinsa ni ittara dojo de itsu dojo de aimashou ka?
Okay, good. And Constantina, one more time.
What I wrote.
Without reading it.
Okay. Nichiyobi no asa wa moshi shinsa ni ittara. Issho ni ittara. Nanji dojo ni todoita. What was the rest I wrote? Hoga ii desu ka?
Okay, I think maybe suita might be better in this. Todoita means like, todoita means to kind of arrive, and that's it, you've arrived at your destination, but you want to say, what time should we get to the dojo? So we then go to the shinsa. Okay, so suita would be better. Okay, Luke, one more time.
Nichiyobi no asa ni issho ni shinsa ni ittara.
Actually, issho ni dojo ni. Issho ni shinsa ni. It's fine. You can say ni. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of knees.
No, it's okay. These sometimes happen.
一緒に道場、審査に行ったら、何時、道場
So
で
this should also be nanji ni.
何時に
Yeah.
何時に or いつ when
I think what time should be nanji really.
何時に道場会いましょうか 道場で
Do de aimashouka.
会いましょうか
Good. And Constantina, and again.
日曜日朝のもし審査に忙しい、行ったら
Did you say isogashi?
TV show if we are busy 一緒に no 日曜日の朝の、もし一緒に行ったら何時に道場に、Twitter、方がいいですか
Very good. Very good. Okay. Yeah. Joseph, do you want to have a go at this one as well?
Okay. もし日曜日の朝に、審査に一緒、so many days、審査に一緒に行ったら、何時まで、道場に着いた方がいいです。
Good. Yeah. Cool. Okay. It's good. I mean,
No, the correct one.
No, this was good. These are all fine. These are all fine. I just wanted to want a little bit of practice of not reading English and then reading Japanese and then saying it out loud. At some point, we've got to connect concept directly into Japanese. This is the ideal place. And at the moment, this is a reasonably simple sentence, so it doesn't take too much brain power to do the grammar. But we've got to practice going straight from idea into Japanese without jumping, especially if English isn't your first language. I don't want you to do English, Greek,
Italian.
concept, yeah, Italian, yeah, English, Greek, Italian, concept, Japanese. Along these steps, you end up taking 10 minutes to make a 5-word sentence. You need to kind of start producing those steps somehow. As you do in the language when you speak to me. You don't think in your own language and then convert it into English. You already have the ability to go from concept to English straight away, haven't you?
No, it started already. Instead of English words, start using the Japanese. I was saying to Fabrizio the other day, amore, dammi il tuo saifu. Saifu.
Instead of violet.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
It was like, how you say this? Money. Guys, I'm not joking. I'm not like this, open money.
It's a seal. We call this a seal. Sea lion.
This is the mail wallet thing. Sexist on that. Yeah. With the
Cool.
simple words and not something more.
Yeah. Okay, well done, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Matane.
Matane. Matane.
Matane.
Matane.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.